Hello, and welcome to another episode of Walk the Dog Cinema. Me and Roka getting out on our daily walk, and let's discuss some movies, or a movie per se, and sit back, enjoy. I don't know if you've seen this one, The Old Dark House. It's a great one from Universal Pictures, 1932. It's a movie we're going to be discussing today, so let's get going. So, The Old Dark House. It's a great one by James Wells. Just coming flat out and just saying it. Find it, watch it. It's on Tubi. There is a 4K restoration out there that you can get a hold of. I definitely got to purchase it. It's one of those that was always on my kind of bucket list to ever see. Again, James Wells, Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, and this one he delivers another great movie. He also did The Invisible Man, so you can kind of look at it as four of the top Universal horror movies that kind of established that studio as this amazing horror factory, so to speak, back in the day. The other being Todd Browning with Freaks and Dracula. Just an amazing movie. Just watching it, it's like only an hour and 15 minutes long. Starts off right at the beginning and just keeps going all the way to the end. Not much more to say than check it out. If you're into the old school Universal horror black and white films, this is one, and it's on Tubi right now, so find it, watch it. And now I'm gonna get into some spoilers as I talk about it a little bit more. It's basic, not necessarily a haunted house film, though. The Old Dark House, it is a great kind of neo-noir suspense film, but I mean, and it's horror just from how they build it and the lead up to kind of sinister, sick people who kind of are just as decrepit as the house that they live in. There's some just great actors in this. Got Melvin Douglas. My knowledge of Melvin Douglas is The Changeling with George C. Scott. He's the old senator in it. He's fantastic. He probably has the best character in this film. He's kind of a little bit of a playboy in this. And he falls for Lillian Bond. She's kind of this fresh-faced actress. I've seen her in something else. I should have looked it up what it was. But this is also Gloria Stewart's first movie. And Gloria Stewart is the old Rose in Titanic. She was a huge actress back in the day. She's the blonde bombshell in this. She's also fantastic. And yeah, she has a little bit of kind of the Fay Wray part of screaming about things. But at the same time, she's a lot smarter than that. And I think that's kind of the great thing with this is all the characters are absolutely intelligent in this, and how they approach the matter and the things that are thrown at them are great. And James Wells is kind of noted for that. If you've never seen Frankenstein or The Bride of Frankenstein, his characters act very realistic within the situations, that whether they're fantastical or not. The Invisible Man, he has a lot of great dark humor in his films. And this one, just like the other ones, the cinematography, black and white, is like a painting. It's marvelous with the really dark blacks, the really whites, a lot of underscoring lit from underneath, a lot of deep shadows to create tension, and the actors really just eat it up. We got Charles Laughton in this. He did Hunchback, Island of Lost Souls. He's done some directing, and I think he directed also Night of the Hunter, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong with that one. But Charles Laughton, who's kind of a great character actor, he does a wonderful part in this. We got Dr. Pretorius in this. I forget the actor's name, but he is the main male dweller in this. Yeah, he has a great, interesting kind of kooky part, quite sinister on one level. And then we have Boris Karloff, who gets top billing actually in this film. He's really just doing Frankenstein. He's the silent butler. He has some great makeup with the scars. He's very imposing in this. And the crazy thing is you can really see his sinisterness, his charisma, and every time his butler's on screen, James Well really knows how to showcase him as an actor, in the sense of he's got a lot of gravitas. And it is quite interesting because the way he's lit when you first meet him is absolutely dreadful and at the same time fantastic. Like, you immediately know, oh, this is my star, this is the guy. So got cut off there, had a couple of German Shepherds who run around rather loose. They don't inherently do anything to my dog, but they're very big and can be very imposing, and just have to control the Roca. She can get quite excitable. So anyhow, yeah, so it's it's got a great cast. Also, there's an older lady in this. She usually played like gypsies in other films, kind of the sinister old lady. She's very God-fearing on one level, but it's kind of the over-the-top. Everyone is condemned to hell if they don't look at these ways. And so on one level, it's this very sinister, God-fearing woman that horror movies are popular for. Of course, this was way before it became a thing in all the 70s and 80s, but it's still done really well in this film. And there's a sinister side to it, and then some real truth to it too. But then there's like this sprinkle of cowardness to it that makes it a very interesting character. And pretty much that's what the movie's about, is kind of a character study on these 5 people who encroach on this decrepit house that is full of ills, kind of like Fall of the House of Usher, and has a lot of kind of dark secrets in it. And they're very kind of normal with some of their own issues, and they work through them as the house kind of envelopes them to the climax. And so that's our characters. And basically the movie starts out on a dark and stormy night. Like I said, it kind of uses all these cliches, and I mean, it's dark and it's stormy, and our 3 pretty much main characters start off, they're in a car getting swamped over, and just getting blasted by water. Gloria Stewart's husband is driving. There's a lot of bantering and bickering. We got Melvin Douglas in the back being sardonic, and we really get established characters, and they're kind of lost. Where they're going doesn't really matter per se, and they're just trying to get out of this element. There's some just great starting cinematography. They almost get eaten up by a falling mountainside, which is a great little special effect, by the way, and come upon this kind of old house. It's a little decrepit. You don't really get to see a lot of it, and they get out of their car, knock on the door. You get the loud thumps, dum dum, and there's like kind of a long wait as you hear the door unlocking. It opens up nice and slow, and we get the ugly butler who's Boris Karloff with this great lighted face, and we can see the scar. He kind of looks wet and dripping, and it's just kind of malevolent, and that's the tone. And there's this great dark humor, bantering back and forth. We're introduced to the caretaker who lived, the brother and sister who live there. One lives downstairs, one lives upstairs. They're kind of weird and a little oddball. One's a devout atheist who almost believes in almost like devil worship, but it's not expressly said, but it's kind of implied. The sister is devoutly God-fearing, if not a little bit overboard, and deaf, so they play off with the deafness of it, and so she comes off odd in and of herself and a little sinister, both of them. The male caretaker, he if you remember Dr. Pretorius, if you've seen Bride of Frankenstein, he has really sharp features, very eagle-like, used to great effect with the lighting in this, where he looks like an owl on the prey, like he's at any moment gonna kill one of our visitors, so to speak, or stranded survivors of the rains. And we kind of get a history of some talking and history with this very interesting dinner scene with roast beef and potatoes and bread cutting and them drinking water. It's darkly humorous. It kind of has a smile on my face because it's all kind of rather funny in the most macabre way. I kind of enjoyed that. To me, it's kind of genius directing. This is where you can really see how a director can mastercraft something so simple, make it and elevate it above something that you wouldn't expect. So I love that sequence. And then we get Charles Laughton and Lillian Bond to show up to get our 5 survivors of the rains, and we get introduced to them. Melvin Douglas falls in love with the Lillian Bond character through the course of this. There's a great scene where they go out to get some alcohol from the car, and we get some tender moments actually in that, but also some suspenseful moments prior to those tender moments. Those are some great scenes. They do feel very like Titanic kind of ripped that off with Jack and Rose on the Titanic in the Model T portion of that movie. This obviously predates that movie by far, so I wouldn't be surprised if James Cameron had maybe seen this movie and kind of did an homage to it a little bit. I don't know, but the scenes do kind of harken back to some of that, so it's kind of interesting to kind of catch that in this. And then we get some more about the house and how there's a 100-year-old, their father is upstairs in a bedroom, 100 years old, and we do get introduced to the father in just this really kind of great reveal. It's all the more odd because you can tell it's kind of played by a woman, but it's done on purpose, and I'll just say it's a very interesting effect, and it's still enjoyable. It just adds to the climax and how this movie builds to just make you uneasy. It really does make you uneasy, and I can see where the audiences kind of play off of kind of maybe knowing it was a female actress playing this male role. They kind of don't hide it, but they do, and it's done with such a straight face and done so well that, like I said, it really would have created some tension, especially in the 30s, with some maybe gender swapping, and James Wells was always about pushing some of those boundaries and those buttons. So I can see that, and it's an interesting effect, and I quite liked it just from the unease that it creates. And then we get to the climax, the brother Saul, which is interesting. They even talk about Saul of the Bible, which is characters clearly representing, and the Melvin Douglas character gets represented as David. So you get David and Saul fighting at the end of this film, and it's a great fight and some great stunts, and absolutely enjoyable. While the other two men are fighting off Boris Karloff, who gets completely drunk and just smashed, and he has a great fight with the other two men, and he's just sinister, and he ultimately comes into the climax not as necessarily a bad guy, but just a person who's broken, just like a lot of people are in this. But Saul is personified evil, and the actor who brings him to life on screen is amazing. I love how Melvin Douglas and him, they play cat and mouse over a knife. That's just, you got to see it to believe it in that regard. It's well written, exciting, kind of gives you goosebumps the way it's directed for me. I just found it absolutely thrilling. So check it out, Old Dark House. It is on Tubi. If not, I say add it to your collection. There's a 4K restoration out there, and you got to see it, especially during this nice Halloween season coming upon us. It's a great movie to start off for fall, and if you're going to get into old Universal movies, it's one of those you got to watch. So take care, everybody.